been a while, but I'm back, and today I need to talk about the books I read in March. I need to use my reading journal to know what I've read because a month is a long time. I do have some physical books, and I read a lot on my Kindle this month. Well, I've been reading quite a lot on my Kindle because, as some of you may know if you follow me from previous videos, I moved out from my parents' house, but it's a temporary thing because I'm just working as a substitute teacher. So whenever my job finishes, I need to go back, or if I'm here until the end of the year, I'll just move back to my parents' house in June when classes finish. So let's move on. Okay, this month I read quite a lot. I read 16 books, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them were physical books, but 2 of them are in my parents' house, so I can't show them to you physically. I'll just put the picture of the cover over here, and that's it. The first book I read this month is Stay With Me. It's the second book from the Sugarland Creek series. It's a interconnected standalone series. I usually read a lot of interconnected standalone series because I love being inside the same world for different stories. I give this book a 4 stars. It's a best friend's brother trope, cowboy, small town, so what else do you need? I'm waiting for the next book on the series to come out. Then I read the first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series. I decided to start with the novellas and then continue with Throne of Glass. So first I read Assassin's Blade. This is a book that contains 5 different novellas. I gave both of these books a 4 stars. I didn't have an idea of what the series was about, because I like to go into Sarah J. Maas books blind, because even if I saw some spoilers on the internet that I don't think I did, I wouldn't understand them. So, am I liking it? Yes. Am I super excited to jump into the next book in the series? Not really. Am I feeling the same obsession, addiction I feel with her other series to just have to continue and read more about the characters? Again, no. I hope this is because the series is quite long and I've read pretty short books, so I still have more than half of the series to go, because the last 5 books, which are the ones that I have left, are pretty long, more than 500 pages each, and these ones were all less than 500 pages. So I hope I can get that addiction to the series soon. And I'm not going to say what the series is about, because with Sarah J. Maas the best thing is to go in blind. Then I read The Darkest Corner of the Heart. This is the second book in the Brightest Light interconnected standalone series. I did really enjoy the first book, so I wrote and had in mind when the second book was coming out so I could read it whenever it came out, and I did. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 4 stars. It's not the best book ever, but it's enjoyable. I really liked it. And I'm not going to say what the book is about because it's the second book and it kind of spoils, I guess, part of the first book. So I'm not going to talk about it. But it does have an age gap. That's everything I'm going to say. And then the long-awaited Magnolia Parks. I must say I'm a Daisy Hates girly. I do enjoy those books more than these ones, but all of them are 5 stars for me. Maybe Magnolias are 5 stars and Daisies are 6 stars. I did enjoy the 720 pages of this book. All of them. It's just amazing. Her writing, please. I just can't. I do get amnesia after reading these books because it's so traumatizing that I just need to forget about it. But I did give it a 5 stars. This is the last book from this point of views, which is kind of sad, but again, great. This has a lot of grieving in it. You need to read the first books to understand this one. You could read Magnolia Parks books separate from Daisy Hates and never read the other part, but you can get the full story from all the characters if you read both POVs interconnected as they are released. And this book is amazing. And at the beginning I hated the cover, but it's grown on me, and the spine, the back. If you don't know what this series is about, I'm not going to talk about this book in specific. I'm going to talk about the series in general. It's a Gossip Girl meets The Addicted series. Something like that. You get a found family, really rich people in London. You don't need anything else. You don't need to know anything else. With that, it's fine. Then I fell again into my Daphne Perry rabbit hole, and you'll understand what I mean by this. First, I read Blitz. This is the second book from the Treasure State Wildcats interconnected standalone series. All of Daphne Perry's books are interconnected standalones, I think. And I think all of them happen in Montana. This one was the second book. It's a football coach and a university student. I have nothing else to say. I give it a 4 stars. I always enjoy Daphne Perry books. They're never 5 stars, but I always enjoy them. Then I read the third book from the Throne of Glass series. I stand by what I said before. I still don't feel that obsession with the story, so let's see what happens with the next one. And again, I gave this one a 4 stars. And now we get really deep into the Daphne Perry rabbit hole. What do I mean by that? I mean that I read 8 more books by her, all back to back to back. And it's what happens with Daphne Perry. You fall into her writing and you always get these kind of mysteries or problems inside the plots that you need to figure out, but it's not like stupid things or a third act breakup, you know? So it's really interesting because you get more dimensions into a story, not just a romance. So first I did a reread of Crimson River. I read all of this series except the last book between 2022 and 2023, because some of them were released in 2023. And then I read for the first time the last book that was released in December, but I got the book last week in my parents' house. The last one was amazing. It was bittersweet because it's like I've been waiting for this specific story for quite a while, but at the same time it's the last one. Like, I'm not going to get more Eden's books, but I did give it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then I decided to jump into another one of her series, cause why not? This one is written by Willa Nash, but Willa Nash is Daphne Perry. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Is it her alter ego, like Regina Phalange from Phoebe Buffay in Friends? I don't know, but they give the same vibes as her other books, obviously. So I read the Calamity Montana series. This is a 6-book series. You do get a novella that I didn't read. I only read the main books from the series, and I think they're not finished. I think there's one more book that's coming out, but there hasn't been any announcements about it, so I don't know when it's coming out. But we have The Bribe, The Bluff, The Brazen, The Bully, and The Brawl. And The Brood, sorry. All of them start with a B, yes. The Bribe is about a celebrity which moves to this Calamity town. Like, the town's name is Calamity. She moves to Calamity, and the sheriff figures out she's going by a different name, and he wants to find out why. Well, I'm going to say this right now, so you know, I gave all of the books 4 stars. The second book is The Bluff. This book is about the female main character's best friend from the first book and one of the residents from Calamity. Then the next book, I can't say who the main characters are, because from the next books, every time you get a book, you get introductions to new characters which are going to be part of the next book, so you haven't really known them yet, you know? But we have an enemies to lovers, more or less. Then we have The Bully. You get an like long time enemies to lovers. The Brawl, you get I don't know how to explain it. Like, this man moves to Calamity and he asks this woman out on a date and she says no, and he's like obsessed with her, not in a bad way, like he just can't stop thinking about her. And then we have The Brood. This is a brother's best friend, age gap. There's grieving in this book, and I don't know what else to say about it. And then the last book I read this month was The 7 Years Sleep. I did fall into this trap well, not a trap, but usually when a book is really hyped up, I don't read it because I just like, for example, Magnolia Parks, I read it before it got this really big hype. But usually when I read books that are really hyped up, I end up not liking them because they're so hyped up in my head and they're not that good, at least for me. So I try not to read this type of books. And usually if I buy them, it takes me a long time to read them because again, I'm scared I'm not going to like them. But I just bit the bullet. I put on a poll on my Instagram asking which book I should read next. This was one of the options and this was the one that was chosen, so I just had to read it. And I really enjoyed it. I read it in less than 24 hours. I did like, it's not that big of a book, but maybe it would have taken me 3 or 4 days to read it if it wasn't enjoyable for me. It is kind of a short book, but if I wasn't vibing with it, I wouldn't have read it in less than 24 hours, even if it's like 300 and something pages. But well, these are all the books I read this month. Yeah, I usually don't read 16 books in a month, but Daphne Bear books are kind of really easy to fly through. These are all the books I read. Well, not these ones. These are the 16 books I read this month. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!